What's up, everyone? Happy Christmas Eve to those of you who celebrate. I've been collecting some really fun and festive magazine clippings that I really wanted to turn into a holiday spread. So I sat down at my desk and just wanted to turn on the camera and connect with you all, especially if you guys are just chilling at home like me. I always get so many questions and comments about my junk journaling process and the supplies I use, any tips to get started. So I thought I'd bring you along for a slowed down version of me actually making a spread from beginning to end and talk about what works for me and some of my favorite tips to get started. I initially started this journal thinking it was going to be closer to a bullet journal, but I was always afraid of bullet journaling because it just feels very intimidating and very perfect to me. I feel like everything is perfectly arranged and pre-planned, and I have never been that sort of person when it comes to planners and journaling because I am very kind of intuitive and an in the moment type of person. So I didn't want something that I had to commit to on a daily basis or something that I had to plan months ahead for. So junk journaling is perfect because it's kind of like a mixture of scrapbooking and collaging. And if you want, you can have spreads that are a little bit more dedicated towards planning or to-do lists, or even just writing your thoughts, kind of like a diary. You can really do whatever you want. So I like the freedom of it. And my style so far has been mostly a combination of writing to-do lists and collaging trash. So I will use items from my stationery shop and other stationery products like this sheet that is from my Ducks Aren't Quite in a Row, the notepad. But I also really like to make it as sustainable and eco-friendly as possible. I just like to use random things that I've collected from my junk mail, from my travels, and put them all together into really like trashy looking spreads. At the end of the day, your style is really going to come out as you start to make more and more spreads. But I've noticed that I don't really like really cookie cutter clean cut collages. A lot of the times I like to just rip the papers and have that frayed texture. I like everything to kind of just look chunky and messy, but I think that that is really my style. So if that doesn't connect with you, just know that you can cut out everything neatly, use little square sheets of papers and washi tape trimmers, all of that stuff. Really, it's just whatever works for you. I don't plan any of my spreads out for the most part. I think I just like to open up an empty page and just do whatever comes to mind. But since I had the cookie images and the background was mostly blue, I immediately knew I was going to use that as a color wave for my spread. I feel like if figuring out colors is really hard for you, use whatever is your main piece of trash or image and use that as your color scheme. So I'm using mostly blues and then pops of yellow since that's closer to the color of these sugar cookies. If you are using any kind of washi tape or stickers like me, you can also use those as inspiration for your color waves as well. Sometimes I just like to throw down a bunch of trash and scraps and nothing matches. So don't feel like you have to restrain yourself to a certain style of journaling because it really is your canvas and you can do whatever the heck you want with it. So I ended up using this spread to talk about some of my reads lately. I just finished a book called Margot's Got Money Troubles, and I really enjoyed it, so I decided to write a little bit about that. I also started the audiobook for Crying in H Mart, which is a memoir. I'm really enjoying it so far, especially because the author is half Korean and they're talking about their experiences with their Korean mom before she gets sick. So I relate to it so much on so many minute levels. Like, I just didn't realize that someone out there had a mom who could be so similar to mine. And that's been really fascinating and interesting to just hear about her life experiences, like traveling to Korea, or just her day-to-day experiences of what it's like to, I guess, perceive your parent from the lens of a child growing up in American culture, but also Korean culture. So I related to it so much so far. I'm not that far in, but I'm definitely going to try to share more about the reads that I complete on my YouTube channel. And I thought it would be so cool if I had like a monthly read, kind of like a book club, but not too structured, where we could talk about whatever we're reading, or maybe pick something, and if some of us want to read together, we could do that too. I'm also reading Harry Potter with my 10-year-old niece. She's really into the movies, so I was encouraging her to read the books, and I only read the last few books because at the time when all my friends were interested in Harry Potter and the movies, I ended up watching the movies before I got a chance to read the book. And at the time, I felt like it kind of ruined my experience of trying to return to reading to the books from scratch because I kept thinking about the movie. So now that it's been quite some time, I feel like I can have a fresh start into reading the books. And oh my gosh, they are so good so far. I'm only on chapter 11 of the first book, but already the details and the character development make so much more sense to me. The books are always better than the movies, and I feel really grateful that I can have this fresh experience of enjoying the book as if it's the first time reading it. I can really see why Harry, Ron, and Hermione bonded. They're such different people, such different kids, but I feel like they have all had this underdog experience in very different ways, and I can so relate to that, so I'm loving it so far. So the spread is pretty simple because the pictures take up so much room, but at the end, I always like to fill in some of the blank space with either small stickers, washi tape, or I just doodle. So if you don't have all these supplies, it's okay. You could even go in with a thicker marker or highlighter and draw little stars or hearts. You can make little striped patterns, really whatever you'd like to fill in some of the space. I also don't put too much emphasis on making my handwriting look really good. I know that some people really like to take their time with it. Like I said, it's totally up to you what style you decide to go for, but mine really is scrappy and junky. Here are some other spread ideas. I have made trackers for my steps, working out. I use some pages to just doodle things for my ideas, and look, I have the roasted note and a bear mode sticker that I turned into a hibernation mode. All my little doodles on this page have turned into actual stickers. I have some food related spreads like this where I'm just ranking candy that I tried, and the packaging is so cute, so I like to clean it and glue it in. I do social media trackers. I'll collect the packaging of things as well as the sticker edges of stamp pages. I really like to save receipts and brochures and maps from when I travel and turn them into little travel spreads like this. Any kind of ticket, like an airplane ticket or food gift packaging, works really well in all of these spreads as well. Here are little tea bags that I saved as a little pop-up pocket. Junk mail is definitely my favorite place to get free resources for the spreads. I love looking through my grocery ads and finding cookies and pies, fresh fruit that I can use to anchor some of the designs and colors of the pages. I also love to use sticky notes since they add a nice pop of color. I hope this video was helpful for any of you who are interested in starting junk journaling. Happy holidays!